This video captures a dramatic courtroom hearing involving Brittany Sherry Sylvester, who appears before a judge after allegedly violating the terms of her probation connected to a previous assault case. The hearing begins with the court reviewing several violations, including failing to report to probation officers on multiple occasions, not completing required community service, failing to maintain employment, and not finishing an anger management program. As the judge and probation officer explain the violations, it becomes clear that the court believes Sylvester has not taken her probation responsibilities seriously. Throughout the hearing, Sylvester repeatedly interrupts the judge, probation officer, and even her own attorney while trying to defend herself. She claims there were misunderstandings, communication problems, and personal struggles that affected her ability to follow the court's requirements. However, the judge grows increasingly frustrated with her behavior and explains that probation is an opportunity that requires responsibility, discipline, and full compliance with court orders. He warns her several times to stop interrupting and to allow the proceedings to continue respectfully. Instead of calming down, Sylvester continues speaking over the court, creating more tension inside the courtroom. The judge eventually loses patience and decides to hold her in contempt because of her disruptive behavior. As a consequence, he orders her to spend 7 days in custody so she can reflect on her actions and behavior in court. The hearing ends with Sylvester being taken into custody while the court schedules another hearing to determine the future of her probation. The case serves as a strong reminder that failing to follow probation conditions and disrespecting courtroom procedures can quickly lead to serious consequences.
Sylvester,
Yes, that's right.
in 21-38966, there is a second amended motion to revoke unadjudicated probation motion filed January of this year. So we've gone through about a half a year, and we need to move forward one way or the other. What are we going to do on this, David?
She had some problems. I've spoken to her on more than one occasion. These started, I believe, in early January, February, something like that. Miss Sylvester denied that she pled guilty before the court on the original case here. Basically, as we went through the motion to revoke probation, she denied committing any of them and wanted to talk to the court about whether she committed any of these offenses because she didn't think that she should be here. She has not violated her probation, I guess is what I think she is stating.
Correct. I have not violated it. I have made every.
No, but you've never been on probation? Or
I've been on probation now since 2022 of December.
Yeah. That's not what you just said, David.
I've never been in any trouble or anything like that.
No, here's what's been alleged is you failed to report to the probation office in June of 23, August of 23, and September of 23.
Mm-hmm.
You failed to work faithfully at suitable employment and provide verification of such. That's what it alleges. I know what happens with a lot of folks. As long as you're trying hard to get employment, that's what's important to me. You failed to provide verification of performing community service hours as required. And that's important because that's community service and that's a necessary concept of probation. You failed to provide verification of entering and successfully completing an anger management program. Then there's failing to pay court assessed fees as directed. This says you were $734 in arrears in court fees as of January, but some people can't pay. And if you can't pay, you don't go to jail on my watch.
Well,
and hold on, one more. And this says you failed to report to the probation office on or about September 14th, 2024 for a judicial review.
The statement moved to amend that date to September 13th, Judge.
I was not aware that I needed to go back to the probation office based on what I was told over the.
Okay, hold on.
Over the
That's for me to decide and a hearing. I mean, you're going to plead untrue to it, is what we're saying. What you're saying. I'm not going to change it. It says on or about September 14th.
All right.
Well,
it's good enough for me.
What I would like to add is that I've made every effort to keep the check-in dates with my probation
Okay, that's
officer, excuse me, several times. I then was
Hold on.
rescheduled.
Hold on. Here's what we're going to do. If you're pleading untrue to all of these, then we have a hearing in front of me. That's me to decide. I get to hear both sides and then I make the decision. That's the way it works.
Well, what I would like is for the probation to be reinstated.
Okay, I understand what you like. I'll listen to that at the end of the hearing.
Okay, so that's not something that can be done today.
We can do the hearing today if you want. These are all
That's
what I just told you.
That is what I
You
would
need to prepare for this?
to
I
be
think that
reinstated. That way I can be on my way because I've got a special needs child to take care of. I've got a family
Who's
and
taking
I've
care of the
got
child now?
a gospel singing career as well.
Who's taking care of the child now?
Me.
No, but when you're in jail, I mean, the child's not with you. Who's taking care of the child when you're stuck?
Well, my child is in a safety place. He's in a safe place, so I can't
A family?
Yes, he's with a close family member.
All right.
So he is safe.
Well,
He's with me. However, yes,
Is that what you're trying to say?
that is what I'm
and
saying.
I think that's what the court
Is that what we're going to do?
Hearing.
Yes, sir.
All right,
It's a
raise your
hearing,
right
I believe.
hand, man. Raise your
I'm
right
sorry.
hand.
Okay.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm any statements you may make during this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
Yes.
All right, lower your hand.
Okay.
Does the defendant waive a formal reading of the second amended motion to revoke unadjudicated probation? Can we proceed in a summary fashion to move this along?
Yes, sir.
In summary, ma'am, this states that on December 19th, 2022, in this court, I placed you on deferred or unadjudicated probation for 10 years for the third degree felony of assault on a public servant. Is all of that true? Is all of that true?
Could you read me the date again? You said
December
2019?
19th, 2022. You were placed on 10 years deferred or unadjudicated probation.
Well, correct.
Is that correct? All right. That's what it shows in all this file.
Correct.
Allegation number 1 states you failed to report to the Jefferson County Probation Office on or about June 18th, 2023, August 14th, 2023. Now we're going back 2 years. September 6th, 23, in violation of your probation order. Is that true or untrue?
That is untrue.
Okay, that's all you need to say. We're going to hear both sides on that. This states number 2, you failed to work faithfully at suitable employment and provide verification of that in violation of your probation order. Is that true or untrue?
That is untrue.
Okay, that's all. No, you're going to get to explain that. We just need to figure out what's true, what's not first. 3, you failed to provide verification of performing community service hours as required of your probation order. Is that true or untrue?
That is untrue.
4.
That one is true because so yes,
Okay, you'll be able to explain all of that later.
that one is a
4,
yes.
you failed to provide verification of entering and successfully completing the anger management program as directed by the probation office. Is that true or untrue?
I did not provide verification of entering it, but I did show up to class.
It's
a yes and no on that one because
It's entering and successfully completing. It's conjunctive. You have to do both parts.
Then no.
All right. I'm not going to go on this. You're paying as much as you can pay toward all of these costs and everything, aren't you?
I'm paying in count 5, Judge.
Yeah, I don't even want to go into the money. 6, you failed to report to the probation office on or about September 14th, 2024 for a judicial review. Is that true or untrue?
That is untrue
All right,
because I wasn't
that's all we
given
need.
the information.
Yep, that's all we need to know. No objections. Go ahead, state.
I would call Dominique.
Speaking, please. Thank you. And we won't interrupt you and be rude.
Okay, thank you. I didn't mean
If
to.
rude was a condition of
apologize.
probation, you'd be revoked for that.
I pass the witness.
Now, basically, let's go back to 2023. It sounds like she didn't report back at that time. I mean, before you were actually there, but that's what the records would indicate.
Yes.
Is that right? And this wasn't dealing with you, is dealing with your predecessor. But she didn't report back then, right?
Correct.
All right. And what efforts were made to help her get some assistance in being able to report, I guess? Trying to work during the time when you first, the earlier part of the time you were employed at probation. Was she employed during that time, as far as you know?
No.
Those, perhaps we should focus on counts 2, 4.
It's already been found true. Go ahead, go to the next one.
That I was working at Wendy's while I was on
Okay.
probation in 2023.
Let me ask you that question, and you answer the question, okay?
Okay.
All right, now then, let's wait until it's time for you to discuss it,
Okay.
so we could go ahead and ask
Go ahead.
as the present witness. Judge, I'll do this however you want me to. I just
Move forward. Just move
All right.
forward.
Well,
We're bogging down.
Miss Sylvester, were you working back at that time in 2023?
In 2023, I was working at Wendy's as well as I was working at Steak and Shake. So I had 2 jobs at one time, and my probation officer at that time was Mr. Moody, who did come inside of Wendy's and witness me physically working there. And he just happened to come by, is what he said. He wanted to see if I was working, and that is what happened. Unfortunately, I only had that job for a few months due to me being harassed by one of the management there that was trying to force me into prostitution. So it was no longer safe for me to keep that actual job. However, I did make other efforts to find suitable work, but while I was looking for other jobs, such as at Subway, that was another place that I was looking for work at. I was catering is what I was doing. So I would go out with my non-tuna meals and try to sell those for,
Did you know
for
that?
lunch. No.
It doesn't do any good if the probation office is not aware of that.
Was this before?
You can't do it you're not on your own probation. You're supervised. We can't supervise you if you're doing things out there that you're not telling the people what you're doing. You don't get credit for it. You can talk all day long about it. I'm not going to give you credit unless they know, and they supervise you. You don't supervise yourself on probation. They supervise you. And there's no supervision when you're doing things on your own and not telling them. You don't get credit for it. You're going to waste your time. And you don't get credit. David, go to the next one. She sounds like she's trying to work. Go ahead.
Okay, well, you tried to get employment then back at that time.
Marva Carthon was your probation office?
Who?
Marva Carthon?
Miss Value.
Miss Parthon, but there is somebody there, last name of with the last name Valier. There's somebody there with that last name as well. I think I had at least 3 different probation officers that I am aware of.
Okay.
Miss Mayfield is the 3rd one. I wasn't given any notice. I just figured maybe people quit. So I may have misspoke as far as the name.
What about
However, Miss Hart
anger management program?
is one of the people that was
Focus
probation officer
on me.
mine.
Focus on me.
Anger management. Did you go to the anger management program?
I went and they didn't show up.
Who didn't
Nobody
show
showed up for the class that I was signed up for at Family Services. It was in 2020. I asked her what was going on as far as why no one showed up. She said she didn't know. She was going to call them and find out why they didn't show up to the actual class. But I was already signed up for the anger management course.
All right.
And I did show up.
Stop. Anger management program. What does that consist of exactly? I order it in every case almost, but I've never been to see what it's like. Is it a time program, or is it a one thing?
It's well, if you're doing it through Family Services, it's sessions, and you have to pay per session. Then you have the option to do it through Court Solutions online, and it's a 12-hour course. It's self-paced. You pay a one-time fee, and then once you complete it, you print off the certificate and they bring it in.
Okay. How many times do the probationers have to go to a class?
For anger management, they're going in person. It is once a week.
For how long?
12 weeks.
12 weeks. 12 weeks. 12 times. You got to go 12 times.
And they normally
Did you do that?
So
No,
I
not even
showed up
close.
once, and they were supposed to update me about
You-
when they were going to
ma'am,
come back.
Let me just tell you this. You've got You have everything to lose. We have 5,000 probationers. You've got to do your part you had an obligation, you sign it. This is what I plan to do. This is my promises I make. And you can't rely on them. You've got to do your own heavy lifting and figure it out. And don't blame it on nobody told me. You've got to take a positive effort.
Right.
It's your life. It's your freedom.
Right. So that's
We got 5,000 probationers we're working with. We can't be, this isn't first grade. You're an adult. You've got to do some of the heavy lifting on your own. You have an order of this court that you have to perform. You can't blame it on the fact that nobody told you how to do it. You've got to go seek it out.
Right.
Family to report September 14th, 2024 for a judicial review.
That was for here.
For here.
Mhm.
Oh, yes, she didn't come to court.
No, she didn't.
Now, explain that one away, if you can.
I wasn't aware that I was supposed to be in court.
Yes, you were.
Because I was told last year when I spoke to Judge Stevens' court that my charges were already dropped. They looked in.
Nobody said that.
Into my name, and that is what I was.
Nobody
told.
said that
They
with my
pulled up
court.
the cause number.
They don't do that. That's not
Yeah.
what they do.
Well, they are paid to give me the information since I was representing myself at that time as pro se. And so they were giving me.
You know what they say about people who
the
represent
information
themselves? You
that
know
I
what they
was
say
asking
about
for.
you're a smart lady. You know what they say about people who represent themselves who aren't lawyers? You have a fool for a client. That's an old saying from way back. That's a foolish choice. You're not competent to do this. You didn't go to law school. Not that you're not capable, you probably are. But you don't have the qualifications, the experience, the training. It takes more than just wanting to do it. It'd be like me doing hair coloring. I wouldn't know what to do. I'd have to learn it. I mean, I don't know. But this, I have 4 degrees, and that's what it takes to be a lawyer. You think I just dreamed that up one day and then I can start representing myself? I can, but there's that old saying, if you want to represent yourself, you have a fool for a client. Because it takes, especially if you're not trained in it and you don't have the law degree and you don't have the bar license, all of that is important to handling other people's lives, including yourself. This is freedom. This is part of the Constitution. You don't want to lose that because you think you can handle something. Brain surgery. Do you do much of that? No. And I'm not being facetious about it, but I'm not being facetious. It takes years of training. Yeah. Don't interrupt me when I speak. Stop. It takes years. Do you want to interrupt me again, ma'am? Ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, is this that hard? When I speak, everybody's got to stop. That's kind of the rule because she can't take 2 people speaking over each other. Okay? And next time it happens, you're in contempt of court, which means you go to jail for a longer period of time. You've been warned. You want to speak over me again?
What you want to do is what you kind of.
Ma'am?
Like,
Don't talk.
Ma'am?
Listen for it.
Ma'am?
Let me finish this.
Ma'am,
Okay.
you're in timeout. We're going to treat you like the child you're acting like. You're in timeout. I'll deal with this next week. Okay? I'll deal with this next week. I've had enough of your rudeness and you're speaking over everybody. Just like that. You're going to go to jail. I'll deal with this next week.
Okay.
Bye.
This is my first time
That's
ever being.
No, it's not, ma'am.
Yes, it is. I've never been in
Ma'am,
trouble.
you're an adult.
Why are you pulling my?
Ma'am, you're under arrest. That's why. You're in custody.
I understand that.
All right, thank you. Quit being rude. Quit being rude, ma'am. Thank you. You're rude. Quit being rude.
This courtroom hearing centers around Brittany Sherry Sylvester, who appears before a judge after being accused of violating the conditions of her probation related to a previous assault case. At the start of the hearing, the probation officer outlines several alleged violations, including failing to report to probation meetings on multiple dates, not maintaining employment, failing to complete required community service hours, and not finishing an anger management course ordered by the court. These repeated failures immediately raise concerns about whether she has been taking the terms of her probation seriously. As the hearing continues, Sylvester repeatedly interrupts the judge, probation officer, and even her own attorney while trying to explain her side of the story. She argues that there were misunderstandings and personal difficulties that affected her ability to comply with probation requirements. However, the judge becomes increasingly frustrated with her constant interruptions and unwillingness to fully accept responsibility for her actions. He reminds her several times that probation is a privilege, not a right, and that the court expects full cooperation and accountability from anyone given a second chance. The tension in the courtroom continues to rise as Sylvester keeps speaking over the judge despite repeated warnings to stop. Eventually, the judge decides that her behavior has become disrespectful and disruptive to the proceedings. Because of this, he holds her in contempt of court and orders her to spend 7 days in custody as punishment for her conduct. The hearing ends with Sylvester being taken into custody while awaiting another court appearance to determine whether her probation will ultimately be revoked. The case serves as a strong reminder that failing to follow court orders and showing disrespect inside a courtroom can quickly lead to serious legal consequences.